Hello, everyone, and welcome again to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending the time, wherever in the world you are, etc., etc. And let's say hello to our beloved friend and 50% of this podcast, Francisco. Hola.
Hola, Jorge. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, my friends. Hola, Jorge. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you so much. I can see that the sun is going through your window and it's
Yes,
sunny in
and
Pamplona
shiny.
today.
It is a
Whoa.
beautiful day today in Pamplona.
Wow.
Gorgeous day.
Great.
So, why don't we get some music and we start with the topic for this week?
Sure. Absolutely. We'll be back in a second. Okay, Francisco, what are we talking about today?
So, today we are going to be talking about animal rights in Spain.
Animal
Nothing
rights
else.
in Spain.
Animal rights in Spain, laws
Hmm.
and regulations of animals in Spain.
Great. Fantastic. So, well, uh, okay, let me. Do you mind if I start with a little bit of history, very, very brief about the animals in
Por favor.
We all know about the animal. It's been a key point in humankind. Don't forget that, I mean, all those big beasts that they were helping us in the, since ancient times to do a farming in our places in our lands and also to carry things from one place to another. But we have the concept of the animals nowadays is totally different. Okay, but just said this about the very brief part of the history. Francisco, what about if we start when I don't know, caravans, for instance, caravans, the those chariots that they were pulled by
Okay.
horses or bulls. Just say,
Good starting point.
yeah.
Many of our travelers, when they arrive to Spain, especially to the south of Spain, and in Sevilla, you have these magnificent horse pulled carriages. And a lot of
Mm.
people, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the horses. Well, guess what, my friends? Those horses, they do have laws. And in
Yeah,
fact, they
absolutely.
have
Of
a
course.
labor union.
Yeah, they do.
The horses. So these horses cannot work 7 days a week. They can only work 6 days a week, and they can only work 8 hours a day. That
Hmm.
is what the law says. If it's too hot, if it's over 40 degrees, they cannot walk. They cannot work. They are exempted to work. And a lot of people don't understand.
When you said 40 degrees, you mean
Oh,
Celsius.
Celsius, yes, which that
That's about
is
105 Fahrenheit.
100. If it's 100, those horses cannot work.
Okay,
Okay,
right.
so what people don't understand is that these animals, if for the animal keepers, this is not huge corporations. They are small families that they have one horse or two horses, and that's what they do. It's their way of living.
Yeah.
So they are going to be very careful to take care of the horses. Okay, those horses are extremely well fed, drunk. They are taking baths. If it's too hot, they bathe them, they cool them down. As I said, they do have a labor union and they have very, very strict laws.
Yeah, but that's part of the culture of the south of Spain, as you said. I don't know if where I live here in Madrid, no, they don't. They don't have any. And now that I'm thinking about it, but it all depends a little bit on the weather conditions as well. I believe, but it's part of the culture. So that's as you said, they do are strictly looked after because
Mhm.
first is the way of living of those families, and second is is an animal and they have rights.
Yeah,
So
they have
Francisco,
rights.
yeah,
And also, they have once a year a total checkup,
uh-huh.
like any employee, like we do. So, hey, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, they just do the job and they do it gracefully.
Okay, great, fantastic. So, and what about those animals that they are used nowadays for farming? Do they still have? Do they have the same rights?
Really, in Spain, the percentage of farms that they require animals to work on, it's reducing drastically. It's all machine done.
Hmm.
Yes, we do find some horses or donkeys or
Donkeys, yeah.
oxes that they can work on it, But yes, they do also have laws, but as I said, it's a minimum
And
percentage
I
of
assume
animals.
that the animals are only used in those very inaccessible for machines
There we
places
go.
like mountains and
When it's a
everything else.
mountaintop, then the animals go.
Okay, well, so let's get back to our times. Let's get
Okay.
back to animal rights right now.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm
Mhm.
talking about animals in general and pets. What could be your definition for animals in general and pets? What could be?
Animals. Okay, so
Yeah.
pets is the one that when we are going to be talking about pets is animals that we keep at home, and animals in general are working animals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're not going to be talking about animals, farmed animals like pork or duck or to eat. Okay, we're going to be talking
Uh-huh.
about the laws that the working animals have. So the the horses is probably the most important animal that works in Spain.
Uh-huh. And what about those that we can keep at home? I mean, obviously, unless you have a farm, you can have a horse.
Yes.
Okay. But what about in a regular home like my apartment where I live, your home, your apartment where you live, etc., etc.
So
Obviously, there's these new fashions of a certain race of dogs or cats, and then suddenly there is a fashion for ferrets, and suddenly there is a fashion for hamsters and things like that. But mainly, I believe we are more a country of dogs and cats, isn't it?
yes, we are. We are, first of all, in Spain, only a 45% of families, we do have animals at home. I don't. You
Oh,
don't either.
because you said we do. I thought you were including yourselves.
No, not me. People do. It's only a 45%. If we compare it to the United States, that it's
Yeah.
almost a 70% of each household that have
Seriously.
animals, almost a 70%.
Whoa.
Here in Spain, it's about a 45% of the households that have animals. Most of the people who has animals, we are dog lovers. We have a 70% of dogs compared to a 25% to cats. The rest
Uh-huh.
are parrots, hamsters. But the number one, 70%, is dogs.
Wow, so much. I had no
Mhm.
idea. I thought it was kind of a 50-50%. And
Nope.
well, it's kind of surprising to me. I didn't know that seriously. And is there any rules for that?
Yes. Rules, especially the dogs. If we center
Yeah.
in dogs, dogs in cities, they always have to go on a leash. Okay, that's a very important. The owners, by law, they have to pick up after their dogs, although we once in a while we encounter some waste.
Reminders.
Yeah, yeah, some reminders that not everybody is as civilized as they should. And in this topic, I one of my neighbors, he's blind and he's a service dog,
Mhm.
and he always picks up after his dog. The dog is trained to tell him where he has done it, and my blind neighbor,
Is that
he
right?
is yeah. So if
Oh,
my neighbor can do it, anybody should. Okay, so
yeah.
what else about the dogs?
Francisco,
Dogs in
you
cities.
want me to tell you something about well, we're talking about dog poop, okay?
Mhm.
But also in general, did you know that at least here in Spain, when you step on one of those things, it's considered a sign of good luck?
That not to me. I'm not a happy camper when that happens.
But
Uh.
and everybody out there knows about the my superstitions and everything. But this is something with a historical fact behind it, and it comes from France, from the Opera House in Paris, and it was when it was inaugurated. And this is one of those city fun facts. Okay, please allow me to say, which is that if you had a lot of horse
Oh,
presence
waste.
in the front of the theater. Obviously, while horses are waiting, the horses they do what they need to do whenever they feel like doing. It's not like us that we can hold it and wait until we get
Mhm.
to where we can make it. But the horses they don't. So what happens is that the morning after, if after the show, if there was a lot of horse shit.
Manure,
Let's say the
manure.
words as they are. Okay, a lot of horse shit in front of the opera house. That meant that the show was really good. So that's why even today in Spain, with I mean the same as in English when you say good luck to an actor is break a leg.
Hmm.
Okay, here in Spain is mucha mierda, a lot of shit. That means that there's gonna be a lot of people going to see your show, and that's where it comes from, and the sign of good luck. Sorry,
Yep.
I just wanted to
I
say
love
that.
all your fun facts. The master
Sorry
of
about
fun fact.
that. So you
Anyway.
were saying about your. I was really shocked because also everybody knows my mother was blind. She never had the assistance of a dog in those days. There was not so spread as it is today. But really the dog is trained to tell the blind owner where the
Mhm.
poop is to be picked up.
My neighbor's dog, he tells him where he has done it, and he collects it, and the dog walks him to the trash can. And I think it's if he can do it, anyone should. No, but
So
anyway, yeah.
those service dogs, I mean, this blind person,
Mhm.
your neighbor, if he wants to take the dog, well, I mean, he obviously he needs the dog to
Yes.
go
Mhm.
anywhere. If he wants to go to the beach, what happens? What's the difference between that animal and the others?
So dog service dogs, they are very special. I mean,
Yeah.
they do have the same rights than the civilian, than the human. Okay, so what we're talking is about regular dogs. So in cities, the dogs that have to go on a leash, all the waste has to be taken up. We do have a lot of dog parks in many cities, especially
Hmm.
Madrid. I think it's the one with more percentage of dog parks that are
There's quite a
fenced.
lot. Yeah, there's quite a
Yeah,
lot.
you have hundreds, well,
Yeah.
thousands of these dog parks where the dogs can run like crazy, all fenced, so they cannot come out. As you say, in the beach, there are a lot of beaches in Spain that are not dog friendly. Okay, dogs are not
Hmm.
allowed because, as you say, everybody goes barefooted and not very
Yeah.
healthy about it. We cannot say that you have to we cannot say don't take your dog to the beach because there are many beaches that are dog friendly. Okay, there are beaches like in Valencia and Malaga and Alicante that they do have special areas for people with animals. Okay,
Hmm.
one of the places where we have more conflict, it's in the forest. The forest,
The
yes, because
forest.
you're in the forest with your dog, and what do? You let him out of the leash and they
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And here, especially, this is a thing that we are suffering every single spring in the Basque Country. In the Basque Country, people goes into the mountains. We have beautiful Pyrenees, we have Basque mountain range, we have a lot of mountains, and people free their city dogs into the forest.
Yeah.
What's the deal? We have trained, we have, as shepherds say, we have humanized the animals, and they behave like humans. They can wait until they are taken outside to go to the loo. They can do all of these things. They have been trained, but in the moment they go into nature, they snap and they become what they are, animals.
Hmm.
And an animal, when they see a sheep, it can be uh, has the instinct to sheep herd or
Yeah.
can have the instinct of attacking. So, in fact, in Spain, the biggest predator to sheep are city dogs, not bears, not nothing but city dogs.
Seriously.
I had no idea, but yep, that is
Whoa.
the biggest predator are the city dogs because they suddenly become what they are, animals, and they don't know how
Uh-huh.
to handle all of these emotions, and they either chase the sheep or whatever, and happens what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's complicated. As I said, all of this is for regular dogs. If it's service dogs, we do have special laws. Jorge, you have some of the regulations about the dogs, this service
Well,
dogs.
yeah, I have a kind of an idea. Don't forget we have mentioned that here in Spain, since many decades ago, my mother she worked for them, and that was her living. There is that organization called ONCE. Okay,
Mhm.
if you read that as a one word is once, but no, it's just four letters that stands for National Organization for Blind People. Now they accept disabled people. If you
Hmm.
have a leg missing or an arm missing, or you have some sort of disability or reduced mobility, you can, go into that association. And the way of living is selling lottery on a daily basis. So those are the mainly the providers of those service dogs, which is mainly for the impaired people, or those
Hmm.
who, like your neighbor that is blind. Okay, so but these kind of service dogs, they're trained just to perform specific tasks for people with disabilities. It's like, unlike emotional support for animals, they have access to public places, as you were said. They can go anywhere else. Anywhere else. The service dog is a term for dogs who are trained to assist with physical, sensory, psychiatric, or intellectual disabilities. Okay,
Hmm.
so you have guide dogs, like your neighbor. Okay, that's for those who are visually impaired. You have hearing dogs as well. They are signal dogs as well, and they are alert people who are deaf or they have hearing problems. Then you have psychiatric service dogs. These are trained for people with mental disorders. Then medical alert or response dogs, dogs that detect seizures of changes in glucose, for instance.
Hmm.
I just said glucose because the first thing that came to me. Then you have some certain dogs that they are specialized for autism. Okay, and they are like signal dogs that they help people with autism, and they have many key aspects. They are not considered pets. These are working animals, and they are allowed to enter anywhere, restaurants, shops, and even public transportation. I mean,
Hmm.
I have the case of a neighbor from another block that he is visually impaired. So we cross paths many times, and he cannot see very well. I mean, I think he only has like about 10% visibility. So I'm very sensitive because of my mother to those who are blind, okay, with a dog or without a dog and just with a stick. And I always tell them, and this is something that I just want to launch a message here. When you see someone blind, don't touch them. To Even if um, your thing is to help them, don't touch them like saying, "Do you need some help?" Because you're gonna scare them. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to tell them, like that in a voice. Do you need any help? So this man that sometimes goes with the dog, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know why, but anyway, he once. I was just a matter of coincidence. I was walking by, and the taxi driver didn't want to get him into the car because of the
Because
dog.
he had a dog.
And then I just got inside. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. And then I said to him, "Excuse me, don't you see this man is blind and he needs a dog to go around?" "Yeah, but I don't want dogs into my car." And then we called the police. We called the
Oh,
police. The taxi ran away, and I took the license plate. And apparently, because this man told me, that taxi driver got a very, very good fine for that. So you
good.
cannot you
No.
cannot deny the uh,
The
service
same
of,
rights to
of, a,
yeah.
of a dog that gives to the owner. Okay, so I just wanted to address that. Thank you, Francisco, for
Mhm.
addressing me.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, about service dogs, you are expert. Your mom needed one, although she never had one.
Yeah,
But
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
oh,
And now that this is leading me to a question. What about those dogs that they are considered like dangerous?
ah, okay.
What
So
about
the
those?
dangerous dogs.
Yeah.
Dangerous dogs we have. In Spain, we have four dogs that are arguably dangerous, which are the Pit Bull Terrier, the Rottweiler, the Staffordshire Terrier, and the Argentinian Dogo. Those are the four that have special laws. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these dogs, the owner requires a special license. Okay, they have to do a psychological training test to the owner, so it's psychologically a stable person. It's not a
Yeah.
crazy guy or a crazy girl who's going to do something. They require a special insurance in case they attack.
Oh, insurance, really?
They do need an insurance. They need to be monetized. I mean, we need to know exactly where they have a chip, all the dogs in Spain, and
Yeah.
they all require this special chip. And also, they have to go on a short leash when they're on the street, and always, no matter where they are, if they're outside, they have to wear a muzzle on
Yeah.
their mouth. So
Wow.
these supposedly dangerous dogs, they are very, very strict, the laws about it. So
There was, if I remember well, not so long ago, a huge big change in the laws about owning a pet. Is that right?
yes, in 2023, we had a revolutionary animal rights law. Okay, it
Yeah.
was 2023, it was yesterday. And the problem comes because there was almost 200,000 pets abandoned in Spain a
Oh,
year.
that's another problem that we'll talk about it in a
So
second. Yeah.
that was one of the things, and they would say, okay, we need to do some rules about it. Okay, so the rules, the major rules that we have with this new law is, first of all, pets are not things. They are sentient beings, which means that as they are not things, if you get a partner, to a couple has a dog and they get divorced, the pets can share custody because they are not things. They are like humans. So
Mm-hmm.
it has to be, you can inherit an animal. Okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
inherit a pet and it can go on the wheel, thing that before it didn't go on a wheel. Uh, what else? Dogs cannot be left alone for over 24 hours
Oh,
by law.
right.
Other animals like cats, rabbits, or fishes or hamsters can be up to 72 hours by themselves.
Uh-huh.
But a dog can only be by themselves maximum 24
24
hours.
hours. Okay.
If your neighbor finds out that your dog, it's nobody's coming to check on that dog, you can
Mm-hmm.
report to the police and you're gonna get a fine. And the police has the right to break in your house if there has been a dog by himself for 24 hours.
Seriously.
Yeah, because
Oh.
they are considered not anymore a thing. They are more than that.
Uh-huh.
If you are going to buy a dog, first of all, the pet shops, they do not sell dogs, cats, fishes, rabbits anymore. You need to go either to a licensed breeder, okay, a licensed farmed,
Yeah.
or you can go to a shelter home and find them there. Okay,
Okay,
those are the
so
only two
those
places.
that typical image that you go through a pet shop and you see the little puppies there in the window, that we don't see that any longer.
In fact, exactly what you just said, it is why this law was done. Because a lot of people, you see these cute, I remember seeing these cute little dogs, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, can we have one? And a lot of people bought them out of an instinct and then abandoned them.
Yeah, probably by Christmas or like a
There
birthday
we go.
present, and
And
then the
not
moment that
anymore.
they realize that the dogs needs to do things outside of their homes, they
There we go.
abandon
And
them,
every
and that is
three
a big
times a day.
problem. That is a big
Yeah.
problem. Abandoned dogs. There is a lot of shelters that they need, and they find every day more and more abandoned dogs. Not only dogs, also cats as well,
Mhm.
right? Which is the second most large number of pets. So, is there any kind of regulation as far as you know about the shelters when you go and I want to adopt one, or if you want to buy one
From a
from
breeder.
one of those places that you mentioned?
So, yes, before you can buy or adopt a dog, you need to pass mandatory training yourself, not the animal. Yourself has to have
You're talking
a
about
training.
the
The
shelters
human,
or the others?
any time, any place. When if you are going to buy a dog,
Yeah.
you need to be trained. You need to know the laws. You need to be certified that you know what you are responsible for.
Uh-huh.
This is not a little toy that you can ignore. No, no, no. You have to be trained. Okay. Then the second thing is that every single pet, no, no, not pet, because you cannot do it in a fish, but every single dog and cat, they need to have a chip.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
Right.
identify them. Can be either it's like an earring, is an internal thing. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
little chip that you can scan it, and then you know who's the owner, where it comes from, where it doesn't come from.
Hmm.
That is a very every dog requires that, especially if they get lost. That's what happens in many forests. They just run away and they get lost. So that's another of the rule. Uh, if you abandon one of the dogs, your dog, it is a criminal offense.
Hmm.
Okay, which means that you can have heavy fines. You can have criminal records. It's like if you have, it's going to be on your records. So some important thing. Uh, city, then the city laws and the beaches, it's a little bit more complicated because it's not regulated by the law. Okay, uh, you cannot. There are some cities that will allow you more than on the beach, others not. On a leash, always when they're on the city. On restaurants, it depends on the owner. Okay, if you're the owner, you might welcome dogs or not. Many times in the open air terraces, dogs are more permitted than in the inside.
Hmm.
If you have a dog that is under 8 kilos, which is about 5 pounds, you
No,
can take
8 kilos is 16 pounds.
so 16 pounds, sorry.
Yeah.
You can take them in the cabin of an airplane.
All right.
Okay. But
In one of those bags.
one of those bags. If it's heavier than that, they cannot, yet again, unless it's a service dog.
Okay.
What else? Another thing, you cannot kill animals for recreation by law, which
Oh.
means that you cannot do uh, cockfights or chicken fights or
Yeah.
infights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Dog
all of
fights.
that is
Yeah.
totally illegal.
Yeah.
And that takes us to a big elephant, another animal
Yeah. I know
in
what
the
you're going to
room.
talk about.
We
the,
need to
the
talk
bu- the
about,
the bulls and the bullfighting, isn't it?
there we go, bulls and bullfighting. It is
Yeah.
illegal to kill animals for entertainment, except there's one exception, which is bullfighting. Bullfighting,
Okay.
it is protected as a cultural heritage. So as it is a cultural heritage, the bulls can be killed in the arena. Super controversial topic. It is, we have talked about bullfighting on this podcast before, but really it's one of those very, very ish things that uh, should we not? It's one of the things that it's dying. And I think in 2 generations, we will not be talking about this anymore. Because don't you think, Jorge, that it's an art form that is dying?
Um, okay, I was going to launch that question to you, but you have been ahead of time. Okay, my heart is broken here. It is part of my culture. Don't get me wrong, guys out there. It's not. I enjoy the thing. I like the everything that is surrounding the fiesta, the ambience, the everything that goes. The moment that the bull, I don't like using the word that you used. I like to use the word sacrificed. Is being sacrificed, okay?
Okay.
Just because of the sake of art. It might sound a little paradoxic, that thing, but it's not a but, and I don't want to justify. It is part of my culture. I have it in my bloodstream. So it's an animal, of course. But I have seen in many of my tours the other side of what people don't see, which is the life of the bull until it gets into the arena. And I have to tell you, I do defend very much the concept that if it wasn't because of the bullfights nowadays, probably the Toro Bravo could have been extinct. What do
Mhm.
you think, Francisco?
Well, on this podcast, we have talked about all of this, and I've always said that as you, my heart is turned. I do support, I don't want to say support, but I am with bullfighting. It's a cultural thing, it's part of us. Uh, Without bullfighting, for sure, I don't doubt it that this animal would be extinct because they're super expensive to be bred.
Yeah.
So if it was just for the heck of it, they wouldn't survive. This is a kind of animal that doesn't survive on a zoo. So we would have to have them wild and they're super dangerous. So really, it's a yes, but so I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know what's going to happen with bullfighting. I like bullfighting. I don't follow bullfighting, so I'm there. I'm like most of the Spaniards. I think we are in the middle in this strange ecosystem
Yeah,
of
yeah,
where we are.
yeah. And well, these new generations that are coming now, they are totally against it, and
Yeah.
they don't really care about it. And you said in a couple of generations, I do believe where things are really rooted, there's going to be probably more limited than it is now, because I know that in Catalonia, for instance, it is not allowed, not in the Balearic Islands, also not in the Canary Islands, if I remember well.
Mhm.
And there are some other places in Spain that they are banned the 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 bullfights, but there are other places like your home place,
Yeah.
Pamplona, with the running of the bulls, very world famous because anyway, that's one of the things. Sevilla, of course,
Sevilla,
Ronda,
Madrid.
Madrid. I mean, the
Yeah.
biggest festivity of bullfighting in the whole world is held here in Madrid. South of France, believe it or not, they're very, very
Mexico
um,
City.
Mexico and all Mexico and North South America,
Yeah.
all those countries, with the exception of Brazil, okay, they are very much into bullfightings. In fact, they have seasons. Whenever it's winter
Yeah.
here, which is the off season, the bullfighters go there. That is summer, and they do the fights there. But yeah, well, it's we both
It's
are in the same situation here. Yeah,
it's the elephant in the
it
room.
is the elephant. Yeah.
Killing animals for entertainment, it's not legal in Spain,
Hmm.
except bulls. And there was in this 2023 law, there's one more rule which has
Yeah.
to do with animals that we can buy and we cannot buy. We can
Oh,
buy,
really?
yep, we can buy cats, dogs, rabbits, some reptiles, and some birds. Some, as long as they're not exotic. If they're exotic and there's animal trafficking, like human trafficking,
Yeah.
remember that animals are not anymore things, they're treated more like humans.
What about parrots? Are they considered exotics?
Depending
On the
the
parrot.
on the parrot, on the
Okay.
type of parrot and where they come from and everything. What definitely we cannot buy in Spain, it is primates, monkeys, gorillas, all of these things. We
Apes. Yeah.
can apes. There we go. We cannot do any large predators. Okay. You cannot buy tigers, pumas, jaguars, lions, all of that. You cannot.
Ah, what a shame.
I have one at home. Oh, no, I'm kidding. And also, you cannot buy poisonous or venomous animals like some snakes, some spiders.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Those are the ones that are nope.
Oh,
So
well.
I love this new law, new from 2023 that has passed. Unfortunately, it's not 100% settled yet. I mean, you know that the laws are made and they are enforced with some time. They require a little bit more of enforcement, especially the ones about animal abandoning, because it's one of the big things in Spain. I mean, in Christmas, a lot of people give away dogs and puppies and little
Yeah.
kittens.
Mm-hmm.
And by March, everybody's like, quit it. And they
Mm-hmm.
abandon them. And that is with the cheap and all of these new rules, it is more and more difficult, but people, they still do it. So
Mm-hmm.
controversial.
Well, well,
And
chicos, this is today our topic. We have talked about everything regarding pets, animal, and that big elephant in the room. But I just want to give here, just to put a silver lining about this big elephant. And I did mention it very briefly earlier, which is Francisco, your hometown, Pamplona, the running of the bulls. We all know that it was Hemingway who placed Pamplona in the whole world with the running of the bulls because he loved it and he also loved the bulls. Ambience, etc., etc. So, chicos out there, if any of you want any time to enjoy and have a first-hand experience with the running of the bulls, you're not going to run in front of the bulls. I promise you that beforehand, okay?
no, please don't do
But
that.
Francisco, he has some certain contacts in his hometown that he can place you in a balcony where you can have a full view of the bull runnings in front of you. So if you want, I have done that with you a couple of times,
Yeah,
Francisco, and it is absolutely incredible. You get the goosebumps. You don't need to like the bulls. You don't need to dislike the bulls. It's just the experience per se.
yeah,
So if you ever want to do that, Francisco is the person who is going to provide you everything that you need. So his website is travelingstep.es. And remember, that happens in July the 7th. The very first one is on July the 8th, because the 7th is the...
No, the first one is July the 7th.
Oh, so the opening ceremony is the day
It's
before.
on the 6th. On the 6th.
It's on the 6th, I'm sorry. Okay, and it lasts for a week. So, and they sell like hotcakes, those spaces. So, if
They
you
do.
just want to enjoy, get in touch with Francisco, and he will do his best to place you in one of those
Thank you,
fantastic
Jorge.
spots. You're very welcome.
As you said, it is a thrilling run, and we do have balconies in all along the route of the Running of the Bulls, from the beginning, the middle, and the Dead Man's Corner, and the main street called Estafeta. We have many, many different viewpoints, and if somebody's interested, yes, just contact me, and we can talk about that. And if you are not pretty much with the bull, with the bullfighting and all of this, you can always cheer for the bull in the Running of the Bulls, because if somebody has anything to lose, it's not the bull. The one that is in more danger is the human. So you can cheer for the bulls. Anyway, Jorge.
Well, chicos, if you like this episode, give us a thumb up. That's helped us immensely. And on my sides, everything is said. I will see you next week. Francisco, anything else to add?
That I will also see you next week. To our listeners, thank you very, very much for joining in this week. We hope you have a wonderful week. We love you all. Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.
And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.